Firstly, Darren, thank you very much for taking the time to do this interview when we're going to talk about last season, how things went, and look forward to next season as well. If we cast our minds back to September 2023, when you became manager and the team had just gained 1 point from 4 league games and had been knocked out of both the FA Cup and the FA Trophy, what were your initial thoughts about the challenges ahead?
Yeah, there was a lot of thoughts. That obviously I was part of that team at the time, and obviously it wasn't a great start to the season. It was very difficult and probably a little bit of a hangover from the previous season, to be honest with you. But look, it was a challenge that I relished. I felt that I was ready for. I've been preparing for a long time for that moment, and when it came along, it was more excitement than anything else. It's an exciting club. It's a club that wants to move forward, and look, there was a lot of work to do on the pitch still. But yeah, like I said, it was probably a feeling of excitement more than anything else.
And you got your first win against Westbury in your first game, which was a nice thing to start with. Did you feel, despite the erratic results in the up until Christmas, just 3 wins in 12 games, when you were in charge up until New Year, that actually behind the scenes you were building a firm foundation to move forward?
Yeah, look, there was a lot to do, and we were changing a lot of things. It wasn't just one thing. It wasn't, we were just getting in one player and that was going to change everything. We had to change the style of play, a lot of the professionalism on and off the pitch. We wanted to change and adapt and bring up with the times and what I thought was right. And that can't happen overnight. That takes a lot of time, and we knew it would take time. We knew it was stepping stones and bit by bit. And like you said, it took a bit of a while to get results. Although we won our first 1 or 2, I think, as well against Melksham. There were some good performances, but there were still big chunks that was missing. But we were confident if we continued doing the right things on and off the pitch, that we would start to pick up the results. And I think if anyone came to watch the games, they could see the performance were improving. There was definitely a style of play building, and then eventually, like you said, it all started to come together. So yeah, like I said, Rome's not built in one day. It takes a long time, and we changed a lot in that period. So yeah, even though it was, I think, October time up to December, January, there's still, I think, for what we done and what we had to change, I think it was still quite a quick turnaround in what we done.
Well, it was a new year and a new dawn, really, because since New Year there has been a massive turnaround in results, with just 3 defeats in the final 20 games of the season, and a winning sequence of 6 games on the trot, and climbing from one off the bottom to a playoff place for a short while before eventually finishing 8th. What do you put all that down to? You've alluded to some of it, but that was just a massive turnaround.
Yeah, it was. Like I said, I think those foundations were built from when I took over up to December, January, and then once they were in place, it was about building that mentality, that work ethic, that attitude, and that common goal of what we all wanted as management staff and players, and then of course adding those bits of quality which we felt was missing from day one, really. I think we had a look at the end of the season a couple of weeks ago. I think we had a turnover of about 13 players out, and we brought a lot in. We brought Ollie Jenkins in a little bit before January, who hasn't played a lot of football and took him a couple of months to get going, and he finished the season really strong. He was excellent for us. And then obviously the big 3 signings, which everyone keeps calling them, were James Taylor, Guesty and Nick, had a massive impact for us, and they're quality players, and they would help any team progress. But more importantly, their quality, it was their attitude, their willingness to come into something that was a bit of a project at the time. But once they heard of what we were doing and seeing us play, they were fully on board with it. And I think the players around them really thrived and grew off them and started to build their self-confidence. And then we went on that fantastic run, and look, in the dressing room, we said we have to win every game of football to try and get in the playoffs. But that stayed within the dressing room, because I think anyone at that point would have thought we were a little bit crazy. But we knew what we had in the group. We knew we just added a little bit more. And yeah, the run, I think we won 6 on a bounce, but it was a lot more in an unbeaten run. So it was over in double figures, I think it was. So it was a fantastic run for the boys. And like you said, we just missed out. We finished 8th in the end, but to only lose 3 games of football from where we came from in that short space of time was fantastic.
Yeah, it was outstanding, and also attendances going up, better atmosphere, that all helped. One thing that probably might not have helped was the weather, which certainly had an impact on the season. Lots of clubs had games off. Thankfully, Yate Town only had 2. How did this affect your preparation during those times?
Yeah, it's difficult for everyone. I think, just like you alluded to, we were very lucky here. We only had a couple of games called off, and even they were probably 50-50. On another day, we probably could have played them. So yeah, we were lucky in that aspect, especially when it was home games. Away games you can't do much about. The weather this year was challenging for everyone. It was very difficult, but for us, nothing really changed. We prepared right. We done the same thing week after week, training, preparation, analysis. None of that ever changed. And if the game was on, fantastic. We were ready to go. And if not, we get a week where we get to look forward to a midweek game as well, because we didn't have too many of them really. So yeah, and when you're on a good run of form, sorry, you're just eager for that next game. So when they came, we managed to perform after that period. So yeah, lucky, but credit to the ground staff for ensuring our games were on, because it wasn't easy, and yeah, they've done a great job.
Yeah, we're sitting here looking at the pitch in the sunshine, and for mid-May, it's looking immaculate already.
Yeah, it looks fantastic, and it will only improve. And it's one of the best services in the league, and it allows us to play the style of football we play. So, like I said, credit to those guys.
Well, the club's certainly moved on both on and off the field during the past few months. What changes have you seen off the field of play to make this happen in tandem with what you've achieved on the field of play?
Yeah, I think the main thing, I think we're in line with what we're trying to do on the pitch and what we're doing off the pitch, and the work that the Mark and the rest of the directors and board have done. It's been fantastic in terms of promoting the club. Sometimes it feels like Yate was a bit of a forgotten club at times. There ain't many clubs at this level in Bristol, and sometimes it felt like that. And I guess with a relegation and not a great start to the season, it can feel like it's a little bit doom and gloom. So first of all, we have to put our products on the pitch to be able to do that, but you need the backing of everyone else at the club to promote the club, and to see the crowds rise like they did, especially like that last home game. We can hope that can continue, but the demographic of the people coming to watch the games have been fantastic. A lot of younger kids and children, and just local people want to come out and support the club. It's been fantastic, and hopefully that can continue next year.
You've recently signed a 2-year contract. How does this help the club move forward and yourself move forward?
Yeah, hopefully it will just give the club some stability. It's had a lot of change in management and a massive overturn in players in the last few years. And I think when you're trying to build something, like we said earlier, it can't happen overnight. But hopefully that that 2-year contract will give that club stability. Players understand there's a bigger project. It's not just a one-off thing. We're going to get some players in and then change everything again. There's a bigger plan to what we're doing and what we're trying to produce. And like I said, we're all moving in the right direction, and hopefully it can be a lot longer than that 2-year period as well.
Well, with the close season now underway, what are your plans moving forward as you prepare for next season?
Yeah, it's a lot of plans. Yeah, it's a close season, like you said, but it hasn't really stopped, to be honest with you. We've got a fantastic group of players already, and hopefully we can keep as many as want to be here, and and carry on from where we left off last season, because we built those foundations. Of course, we'll look to add and continue to build the squad in key areas where we think we can improve and take us further up that table. But yeah, preparations will start. We're hoping to make sure we secure our training facility at SGS, which was fantastic last year. It gave us the access to top quality facilities and make sure the players get what they need. And then of course we're looking at adding a few other bits to make sure that we're ready to hit the ground running in come first game of the season.
And have you set yourself personally any targets for next season?
Yeah, I think personally is to keep improving. Whether that's as a coach, as a person, is to keep improving. And the same for the players, that we're not looking to stand still. Yes, we had a very good January to the end of the season, but that we didn't finish where we wanted to finish. So that's what we want to get to. But we'll keep the target in house and what we want to do. But the group will know, and like I said, we're all pushing it in the right direction, and we'll see where it takes us.
And what are you looking for to help you from the club to achieve your aims?
I think it's just that continued support. What we've had, and the club's been fantastic since day one I come in. They trusted me with taking a caretaker role to start with. I guess a bit of an unknown, and wait and see what happens, and then they gave me the opportunity to be manager of the football club, which I'm grateful for and thankful for, and hopefully we've been able to repair them so far. So we're looking for that continued support, but also the supporters have been fantastic. That they had a tough couple of years really with some of the football they've seen, and like I said, comings and goings, not really sure what's happening with the club, and they've been great. So hopefully we just want the supporters and everyone at the club just to stick with us, get behind us again, and come out in your numbers and support us, because it's important to me, and it's really important to the lads as well. And if we can start to make Lodge Road a bit of a fortress, create a bit of an atmosphere here, and that will definitely help us get those results.
Well, thank you for your time, Darren. Thank you for your thoughts, and we look forward to speaking to you again soon when we hear about some signings.
Yeah, no worries. Look forward to seeing you all soon. Thanks.